Hi everybody, it's Diana with Stamping with Di. Welcome to my YouTube channel and this week's Mimeograph Monday with a Twist. And I'm going to use the June product of the month, the Wild Bunch stamp set. So I hope you got this ordered. I got it ordered like as soon as I could order it. I actually think I ordered it while I was on the train in Alaska. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. My name is Diana and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and I'm in Santan Valley, Arizona. So welcome. So yeah, as I mentioned at the beginning of the month or when we first started the product of the month, the product of the month would be available while supplies last. And I'm pretty sure that this would sell out, fast. But when I was doing this video, you couldn't get them. But when I looked in the inventory, it said it was coming in July. But like when I was getting all this stuff done. But now I'm like, after I've got stuff done, I'm not finding it. So, and it's almost like I can't look for it because I already ordered it. So it's not popping up in the store for me. Because you can only get one. So I apologize if it is gone for good. But I'm hoping you did get it. And then this will give you some idea, how to use it. But it's also just a really fun, card layout and stuff like that for like other stamp sets. So I just was like, you know what? I haven't played with it because it was while we were on the trip. And so we're just going to play with it anyways. So if you're not sure product of the month, if you're in the United States, if you order $75 before tax and shipping on a single order, you can add the product of the month and it's $5. And then you can only get one product of the month, like total. Like you can only get like I think we start in December. So you can only get one of the Januaries, one of the February. But if you place two $75 orders in the month and the prior month is still available and you didn't order it that month, you can still get it like the following month as long as it's still available. But you can only get like one. And this is just a way for them to make sure people aren't ordering a bunch of them, right? I mean, because that happens and it just makes it more fair. So anyway, so I am going to flip the camera so I can get started. So I'm going to do two projects. So I will do the first one will be Stampin' Up's version, and then I'll do a twist on it, which will be more my taste. And during the video premiere, I'm in the chat room, so head on over there. I'll be there with my friends. Otherwise, if you're watching the replay, please leave a comment or a question below, and then YouTube lets me know. But I would love for you to subscribe to my channel because then YouTube lets you know when I go when I upload a video or whatever, so you don't miss out. All right, so I'm gonna stop blabbing. So close your eyes for a second while I get my camera adjusted. All right, here is the super cute little wild bunch that is the June product of the month that may or may not be available when you're watching the video. But like I said, this layout can be used with so many different other stamp sets, So anyways, all right, so that's the cute little wild bunch. And I'm also using the Nested Essentials. And I am just basically, this is Stampin' Up's card first. And then I'll do a twist. So I need some basic white, and I just have some scraps on my desk. I am going to be coloring with the blend, so I'm going to stamp with the Memento. I am not a fan of the new hybrid pad. I need to play around with it a little bit more, so I'm just sticking with my Memento. So we want our cutie little snail, our little penguin, our koala, And I believe this is a Highland cow. It could just be a regular cow, but he's got that tuft of hair. So it makes me think Highland cow. All right. So I'm going to let those dry for a second. And then I have a piece of basic beige. And then this is where I've used that stylish shapes to cut out the, what would you call this? A squoval? Because it's kind of like a square with the oval edges or whatever. It kind of looks like a TV set, doesn't it? All right. And then we have this heart. And I'm just going to do tone on tone. So we have a basic beige, and then we have this cute little heart. And we're just going to crawl it up the card in the corner here. And then continue over here. Now, if you wanted, you could do this before you cut out, you know, your square, but I did it after. All right. Now, you could also do this with, you know, that, with the Versamark pad. It gives you that kind of tone on tone as well. It's a little lighter than, you know, using the real color. All right. So, and then I want Sending Love. And that goes right down here. All right. Now we're just going to set that aside. And I think our little guys are probably good enough to color now. All right. And then I just have my blends. Now I am going to trim them off of this paper. We are going to fussy cut them out once they're done being colored. All right. So let's color our cute little snail. So I'm going to use the, now I'm just guessing on the colors that was used. All right. So this is dark Barely Blush. So this is one of the new in colors. And it is so pretty. It's like a very, very soft pinkish blush. So that's dark. And then light. And then I'm also going to take the dark. Oops, hang on. I like to use the bullet tip. I mean, sometimes I use the other one, but mostly I use the bullet tip. All right. And I'm also going to color these little shell things. I'm sure they have a name, but I'm just calling them shell things. Okay. Then I have my light gray granite for the little antenna. And then we're going to go balmy blue for the shell. So I have my dark balmy. And I'm just kind of moving that up into there, because then we'll go in with the light balmy and soften that. Okay. And then we'll take our light balmy and then just go in there and finish that. And then I just kind of go over that dark line just a little bit, and it will soften that so you don't see such a pronounced dark line. And then as it dries, it'll soften more. Okay. So there's our cute little snail. All right, so let's do our koala bear, or koala. All right, so we have the dark Barely Blush again, and I'm just putting that in his ear holes. And then I have dark gray granite. And on his nose. And a little bit on his body. So the Stampin' Up! One didn't have as much, you know me, I like to have a lot of shadows and stuff when I color. So the Stampin' Up! One didn't have as much. All right, and then this is just light gray granite to finish that. I love the little hairy lines they put on there so that he looks really furry. But you could, you know, do this with is it Wild Safari or something like that? That's a cute one with some cute little animals. So you could do that with, you know, if you want to make it be like critters. I don't know if we still have the turtles. I have such a hard time keeping track of stuff. And like I said, the product of the month was harder because I couldn't get it to pop up when I pretended to place an order, you know, like to get up to that, because I had already ordered it. So it's already in the system that I have it. So it won't come up for me. All right. So here is the light gray granite and the dark gray granite for our cute little penguin. Okay. And then our dark pumpkin for his cute little feet and his little beak. Isn't he cute? All right. And then we have our cow, and then I'll cut them out. All right. So we have our cute little cow. And I think they just used the golden glow. Now I do want to take my dark Barely Blush. And I just put a little bit on the horns. All right. So he's got kind of like a dark mane. So I have my dark golden glow. His little comb over or whatever. Okay, so we have our dark right there. Then I'm going to put dark there. I also want dark here and his body. And then the rest will be the light golden glow. Oh, sorry, I was looking at my microphone. Sometimes I turn it off and then I go, oh my gosh, did I turn it on? All right. And I did. Sometimes it's too close to my mouth too. All right, so now we have our light golden glow, and we're just going to color the rest in. So this is, you know, how I think that the one was done by Stampin' Up. And of course, my twist will be a little more my style. Okay, so these colors, I'm going to keep some of them out because I will reuse some of them for my twist. Alrighty, so let's cut these out. Now I'm using the new snips. So I didn't think there was gonna, you know, when I compared them to the other ones, I was just looking at them when I compared them. But these ones, I think the blade feels thicker. Like when I'm cutting through the paper, it just feels like a much more substantial, is that a word? Does that make sense when I'm talking about a scissors? I don't know. All right, but it just seems like a stronger blade. All right, but it's nice to have a sharp pair of snips because mine old ones need to be sharpened. I need to find somebody to sharpen them because usually I just buy a new pair and let it go dull. And then I buy another pair. So I have snips all over the house, you know, in the kitchen, outside, and use them for my plants. I mean, it's just so silly. All right, so let's cut out our little cow. So I don't know if they made the blade a little thicker so that if you do sharpen them, because I would think when you're sharpening scissors, you've got to be taking some of the metal away, right? All right, so there's our cute little cow. So they don't take too much to cut out because I am leaving a little bit of white around them. I'm not like cutting them right on the line. I'm leaving a little white border. It's like he's got an eyebrow, but so I don't know who drew this, but it's so cute. Okay. And look at these fingernails he's got. He has got some fingernails, this guy. But he looks so innocent, right? They're little eyeballs. Okay. I love the little wisps of hair. I can't wait to see what will be the July product of the month. We've had a variety, right? We've had stamp sets, we've had DSP, we had a folder. I don't know if we've had a die yet. Did we have a die? I think we even had, didn't we have bling? I don't know. I just think it's fun that we have something special each month that you can choose to get or not, especially since they took celebration away. So this is almost like we have celebration every month with that special. All right. So see what I mean? Very easy to cut out. All right, so let's bring this over so we can put this together and then we can get to the twist. All right, so here we have our little card. Now, I just made the card the basic white thick. Something that looked like they used. And basic white thick is a great base card. And this is going to go on here, and I'm going to put it on with dimensionals so that it will sit up a little bit. So that you will notice like the dimension of the little critters, because they'll be kind of like inside and poking out a little bit. All right. Do you think I put enough dimensionals on there? Okay. And then this will go on here. I'm putting that on even. Okay. And then, so see, this has that nice, you know, it sticks out so that you have, the way the light catches it, it gives you like that shadow. All right. And then we will put our little critters on. So I'm going to start with the penguin. And they're going to go on with dimensionals as well. I'm just using the baby ones. Okay. So the little penguin is back here. Okay. Next layer is the koala. Okay. And he's, his ear is going to kind of be over. So I just kind of want to be careful where I put the dimensionals. Like I don't want to put it here where it's on the penguin because then he'll be crooked. All right. So he's going to go right here like that. Then next layer is this snail, and I'm going to put the dimensionals here. Because as I layer it, it gets a little more confusing where the dimensionals should go. And they're all the same dimensional thickness. All right, so then this guy is going to go here. Now, if you want them to stick out more, you can stack your dimensionals. All right, and then we have our little cow. So then our cow's going to go there. So I know I can put one on his head and down here. I can put one here. And that should probably be plenty. And then you have the little cow right there. So isn't that so stinking cute and just so easy? All right, so now let me clean up my mess here and I'll get to my twist. For my twist, I pulled out stylish shapes and my new favorite DSP, which is the Beautiful Ordinary Life. It is just such a fun pack of paper. I can't get over it. All right. So let's see. Now I did stamp some things ahead of time just so they could dry a little better. While I'm doing stuff. All right. I'm also going to make this into a birthday card. So I'm going to use the birthday. Happy birthday. I don't need that because this is white and this is kind of white. So it's easier to see when you're stamping on something skinny like that. If you have like a darker background or a different color than the paper. All right, so hopefully my head won't be in the way. So I look through here and try to make this be straight. All right, so there's our happy birthday. And while I have the ink pad out, I'm going to put some striped paper on the inside of the card. And I'll just trim that overhang a little bit. And I'm going to stamp. This comes with a little present. So I'm going to put a little present in there. I think that's all the stamping. All right. So let's color. Now I'm just going to get these separated just so that my jewelry or, I'm not rubbing against them when I'm coloring them. So I like to kind of separate them. And I also did some party hats. It's a party. They almost look like palm trees, right? They look like kind of like two palm trees kind of stacked. All right. So let's do a little bit of coloring. All right. So of course I have more blends now than before, but that's okay. All right, so we want, let's see, dark Highland. And dark Freesia. So when I color the hats, I'm going to go down a little bit just because it might show a tad. So, I mean, it might not, but I'm just going to go down just a little bit. All right. And then we want our dark Granny. And then our dark lemon lime twist. You know, I love using those colors together. There's certain ones that I just always like to use together. The tones 400 and 600. These two I just mentioned. So definitely mix and match your colors. Like don't think you just have to stick with, you know, dark and light of the same color. All right, so let's do our cute little koala. So we have, so another color, let me just pour these out so that I'm not rummaging in that box the whole time. All right, so another color that I like to put together is Flirty Flamingo and the new Barely Blush. They look so stinking cute together. All right, so this is the Barely Blush. And then this is my light Flirty Flamingo in the ear hole there. And then I'll take my dark Barely. So see how they just look so good together? Oh, I love that. All right. And then we want the dark Smoky Slate. So these little guys are going to have a little bit more color on them. You know me, right? I like to color. It's my favorite thing, I think, to do. I did make some bread yesterday, though. But the recipe called for 2 teaspoons of salt. And, ooh, that was too much. So I did make a note that the next time, not so much salt. All right. All right. And then I have my dark gray granite. So I'm just putting these colors together. And then I'll go in with the light gray granite to finish him out. Let's see, here it is. But that just gives him a little bit more character. I'm also going to use the gel pen. I love that we now sell a gel pen, so I don't have to keep sending you to Amazon. And I really like them. They come in a 2-pack. So, all right. So I'm just putting a little bit just to soften that. Okay. So there's our cute little koala. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the Flirty, and we're going to give our little koala some cute little cheeks. So he's got some cute little pink cheeks going on there. All right, let's do our snail. So I'm going to take the light flirty flamingo. Then my dark barely blush. And then here you'll see it a little bit better, how great those worked together. And I'm just going to go all the way with the dark. But look how those two blend like so well. And it's hard to show on the, I don't know if the camera will pick up. See, it just looks so cute. All right, flirty. I bring it up to the camera and then the camera is like all confused, all blurry. All right, so this is light, flirty. Cute. Let's do our light gray for the antenna, just like before. But this time, I'm going to use Pool Party for the shell. And so I have my dark Pool Party. Now we used to have, and you might still have them in your stash. There was two of the in colors that retired, and they worked really good with the Pool Party as well. Like how I mixed the flirty with the barely blush. I can't think what they're called. Because I try to purge my old brain of stuff to make room for new stuff. And I can't remember. It was shamrock and something. But anyways, so if you still have those, pull those out because they make your Pool Party, you know, it gives you that extra little dark color that looks really cute. All right, so this is dark pool. And then we'll go with the light pool. Because we don't really have anything now to make that dark pool have a really, really dark, intense color that goes with it. I mean, I could go in there and add like gray granite or something like that, but it's not the right color, right? It's not in the same color family. So anyways, all right, so I'm just going to go back in and add a little more dark. But anyways, so if you do have those, pull them out. Okay, that just gives it a little bit. And I don't want to bring it to the camera because I confused the camera. All right, now our little cutie patootie penguin. So I'm going to use my light basic black because I want my penguin to be darker, you know, like a real penguin would be. All right, but I don't want to use the dark basic black because it is too dark, I think. It's good for splattering, but I don't use it for coloring. And then I use my dark smoky slate instead because that goes in there and looks marvelous with that light basic black. So see how good that looks? It looks marvelous. Can we all say that's the word of the day? Marvelous. All right, and then this is light gray granite because I don't want to not color my penguin because he does have some white. So I'm just going to come in here and put a little gray just to give there a little bit of, you know, color on him. And then we'll do his little legs and his beak. Now I also want to come in and put some little dark, barely blush cheeks. So he's got some little cheeks too. And I'm going to put a little bit of flirty on the end there, just to make him look even more pink. All right, so there's that guy. Like I said, I'm going to go in and use gel pen and stuff like that and get a little bit more color going on to them. All right, let's see. My cow is going to be 4, 6, and pecan dark and light. So let's do our pecan dark and light first. And that's going to be his tuft of hair. So this is dark pecan. I'm also going to put it on his tail. And then we'll go light pecan. Cute, cute, cute. All right. I'm going to use my light gray granite for the horns. Okay. We have our light flirty for the ear holes. Okay. And then we want 6 and 4. So the higher the number, the lighter it is. So we're going to start with 4. So we're going to go 4. And then we'll go in with the 6 and finish coloring it. Okay, so that was 6. I mean, that was 4. And then this is 6. So it's a little bit lighter. Just gives them a little more texture with some different shades going in there. I'm just kind of wiggling it around because it would be, you know, he's kind of hairy. So let me get that 4 back and we'll just put some little hairline, like little hair strokes or whatever. All right. And then I'm going to take, let's see, I want my dark flirty. And then our light flirty. For his nose. And then I want, where's my petal pink? Hold on a minute. I didn't have my petal pink out. And then I have my dark and light petal pink. For that nose area. All right. So I'm going to put a little gel pen. So we're going to give some, now that one thing is that it does not, this lid doesn't stay in there. So don't lose your lid. All right. So we're going to put some little freckles. Oh, I forgot. Oh no, it's good. We're just going to put some little dots here and there, some little hair marks. Put little dots in the eyes. All right. Little dots in the eyes, little freckles. And then we're going to put little freckles here. And I'm going to put, now it might be hard to see, but I'm going to put some little dots here and there on the shell in the pink. So I don't want to touch these while they're drying. All right. So we'll put some little freckles here. And you know me, I like putting little dots here and there. And let's make the hats look stinking cute by putting some polka dots on there. So we're going to have some big polka dots and some little polka dots. Just to give them a little something, something. And I'm going to make a big one kind of be down here. And you just want to make sure that these are good and dry before you start cutting on them. So you don't smear that gel pen. But also you want to make sure they're good and dry blend-wise before you come in and start doing the gel pen. Or sometimes the gel pen will pick up some of the blend color. All right, let's color this little present in here. And then what I'll do is I will speed up the camera while I cut these things out, so that you're not having to watch me, you know, cut them out again, because the video is going to be too long. All right. And then I put this color. Oh, no, here they are. All right. So then we're just going to make our present be kind of similar to the hats on the front. Cute, cute. And then let's put some balmy blue as the whatchamacallit, the bow. All right. Cute, cute. One more thing before I speed up the video. I am going to put a little Coastal Cabana on my square. So instead of cutting out, oh, and here's the paper I used. Sorry about that. So I still did basic white thick, but I'm using this striped paper, which is adorable. Instead of cutting a hole in here, because this does have that black behind there. And I was afraid if I cut the hole and then pop this up, you might be able to see those black lines. See that when I hold this right? You can kind of see the black lines. So I wanted to glue this directly to here so they're not as visible. So what I did was I just cut that same shape as before. All right. So, but I want to put a little bit of Coastal Cabana just so it's not just plain white. So we'll just add a little bit of, I was a little heavy on the beginning there, but that's okay. Just so there's a little bit of color going on behind them. All right. All right, so now what I'm going to do, oh, and I also did a little thing here, and I'll show you that later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed up the video while I cut all these things out. have these all cut out. Let's put our card together. So again, I just choose basic white thick. That seems to be the one I usually use. I mean, once in a while I'll use a colored cardstock, but I just seem to always use basic white. All right. And then this goes on the inside. So, okay. Then we have this on the outside. This paper is so cool. And I think I showed you the scrapbook kit. All right, so I have this. Now what I did do was I cut with that stylish shapes. I cut like a little banner so it matches the happy birthday. And I just want to put it back here so it's almost like a little Levi tab. And I just cut it out of that DSP. So I just put it where the red was. So I'm just going to kind of put that little flag there, just to kind of give a little something, something there. Everything needs a something, something. All right. And then this is just going to go on the card. And we're going to build on this white piece. Okay, so this is going to go. Let me just stand up because these stripes will. Sometimes the stripes help, sometimes they don't. All right, because these are wiggly stripes. Okay, I think that looks straight. Let's put our happy birthday on there while we're doing that. Okay. Happy birthday. But doesn't this paper scream a birthday party? Like it just, oh, okay. So now I'm going to put my little critters on, very similar to how they were on the other card. All right, so we're going to start with the penguin. So he's back here, but now I can come up a little bit. So their little heads will be, you know, above or whatever. All right. And then we have our koala again. So he's going to go here. Then I'm going to have it the ear really stick out this time. All right. Then we have our snail. And I'm putting my dimensionals on here. Whoops, that one stuck to my finger. Okay. And then our cute little bear or cow. So see, by putting that coastal cabana, you can kind of see it like in the background there. All right, so now let's put our hats on. And this is why I kind of cut them like this because I'm not for sure, you know, how I want my hats. All right, so we want this one to be kind of wiggly. So I'm just going to kind of wiggle it. And we're going to put it like that. So I'm going to use a baby dimensional and we're going to put it here so that it will catch that hat. catches that, whatever that is. All right. And then I'm going to put a little green tip glue to the hat. It's like a little crooked. I mean, they are animals after all. They don't know. You know, their hats are crooked. All right. So we have that one. Then I have a little green one. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to kind of cut it, add a wiggle. And the penguin also has his kind of cockeyed. So I'm going to put my dimensionals on the hat instead. And I'm going to stack 2 of them. Because we have, this has a dimensional and he has a dimensional. So we need to get our hat the same height as our penguin. So this one's going to be kind of at an angle too. I think it adds such personality when the hats are kind of like, you know, askew. All right, so there's that one. And then we have, let's see here. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. We're going to put this one on our snail. I was like, do I give them all a hat? And they all requested a hat. They're like, I can't not have a hat. So they all get a hat. You get a hat. You get a hat. All right. And then the koala bear is going to go behind. So I'm just going to put that there, which will go. Oh, I put it on the front, but it actually looks funny because it was here. But hang on a minute. Let me peel it off there and stick it behind. But it looked kind of funny because it made his hair look funny. All right, so there is that. So isn't that so cute? Now I didn't put any bling. I mean, I could, but there's a lot going on. All right, so let me show you. So here was the Stampin' Ups card. And then here is my twist. So I didn't change it a whole lot in regards to the layout. I mean, it's pretty much the same layout, right? I just used the layers in a different way. But, oh my gosh, it's so fun. And so hopefully you like that. All right. Say, see you later, alligator. So yeah, super cute. All right. So let me get this video uploaded and let me know what you think. And if you did get that stamp set, let me know what you've done with it. I love when you say, oh, I'm going to copy that card and give it to so-and-so. I love that. All right, so I'm going to stop blabbing. I will see you tomorrow for my Teach Me Tuesdays. And that will be 3 o'clock, Arizona time, same channel. Have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right, bye for now.